Welcome to PCI's Tech TV mini-series, Python Development with Geomatica and ArcGIS. In episode 2 of this mini-series, we are going to take a tour of the different environments that can be used to execute scripts that import and use both Geomatica and ArcPy modules. There are a couple of environments that can be pretty much used immediately with little to no configuration required. The first environment is available through the command prompt. So we can bring this up by just typing in CMD. And then from here we can execute our script with the Python interpreter. But we need to make sure to access the correct interpreter. So if we want to execute a script that uses both Geomatica and ArcMap functions, we're going to have to use this interpreter. So it's CPython 27, ArcGIS x64 specifically, and then python.exe. So now that we have pointed to the correct Python interpreter, we can enter a white space and provide the path to our script here, which I'm going to then bring up. And I'm going to do this by simply dragging and dropping it into the command prompt. So now this is telling it to run this Python script, this one here, using this particular interpreter. So when we run this script by simply clicking enter here, the first thing the script is going to do is to load the ArcPy and the Geomatica libraries. It's then going to prompt me for input information. So the script that I'm about to run, what it's going to do is it's going to extract a digital surface model, high-resolution digital surface model of a construction yard from two different dates, and then it's going to compare the two and automatically find new stockpiles or measurable changes and then calculate the volume. So it's going to use a combination of Geomatica functions and ArcPy functions in order to do this. So I can now simply provide the path to my input data from 2011, which I'm doing there. Same thing for my input imagery from 2009. It wants to know the area of interest, so we have a mask file to define the area we should perform the analysis on. And then specifically the output, where we want the output data to be written to. So I'm just going to have it be written to a new folder called output that will be created here. So when I click enter, it automatically validates that the imagery is in there and begins creating the temporary and final output files. Now that my script is nearing the end of its run, I have it set up so that it's going to automatically launch the results in an ArcMap instance. So it creates the output into this output folder here and automatically launches the ArcGIS map that we created. So if we look over here, what we can see that we've done is we've mapped out or created polygons for the areas where we have new stockpiles or where we have measurable changes, and then we use some functions from ArcMap. So if we go to the identify tool, we can see that we've calculated the volume for these in meters cubed. So the next environment we will explore is found directly in ArcMap. So we can open it up again here, a new instance. So here we can create a custom toolbox and tool sets and then set up and launch scripts much like you would any other ArcMap tool. These scripts can also take advantage of Geomatica's Python modules. So we can see we have my toolboxes here. I created a new toolbox called Geomatica, and then we have created different tool sets for doing different kinds of processes within Geomatica, but launching them and setting them up from directly within ArcMap itself. So in order for these to work, there are two important settings that you must make sure are correctly set. So one of them, we can go to geoprocessing options, and we need to make sure that we have background processes enabled. The other one is when we actually create our script. So I'm going to go into our pan sharpening script, go to properties, and we need to make sure that we have unchecked this checkbox here, which says always run in foreground. This is because it'll take advantage of the 64-bit background geoprocesses. So what we're going to do here is we're going to launch and actually run a Geomatica process within ArcMap. So I can just double click on this as you would with any other tool. We can set these up, so I'm asking for the multispectral file. So I'm going to just make it easier by copying this path. So I'll put that path in here. I'm going to go to my Landsat 8 image, point to the XML document, or sorry, the metadata document. And then I can do the same thing for the panchromatic. So it actually uses the same file in this case. And then we can just provide an output for where we want our output file to be written to and with what name. So we can call it pansharp.pix, for example, and then simply run. So you can see it's running down here as a background process. So once the geo process is finished running, you'll see that you'll get a pop-up here from ArcMap, just like you would with any other tool that you run, and we get our images rendered onto our display. So the last thing we'll do is we'll just make sure to render this as a true color composite. So I'm just going to change this to what I know it should be for Landsat 8 imagery. And we have our pan-sharpened 15-meter result here. So we can just zoom to 1:1. So the nice thing about this is that you're able to customize your GUI within ArcMap using their parameters and still run Geomatica functions.